All right, more hotel room cooking. What do we got going on today?
Looks like top ramen, can of salmon, breadcrumbs, the can opener of my Swiss Army knife. Not everything's on the table right now, but already have water in the rice cooker, saving some time in this video. I'm going to get that going, and
I'll get everything else on the table. Okay, got everything. Here we go.
butter, and got my plate, Tupperware, and the spatula.
So you can probably tell from the title. It's ramen, pasta, with salmon. That's just like extra. But the key here is the buttered breadcrumbs. I had some things left over when I cooked steak and eggs for Herbs and Rye and our other friend Woody in Council Bluffs like 2 months ago. Also meatloaf. And when that was done and they left town, I had some things left over. I'm like, I have some butter, have some breadcrumbs. And I happen to have from like weeks, months earlier, some top ramen in my car. So I'm like, I don't know, I'll melt the butter, put it on the breadcrumbs, and that'll add a little something to like plain top ramen. I'm not a big fan. I have used the flavor packets, not a big fan of them, but just have them plain sometimes. So I'm like, buttered breadcrumbs, much better. It was amazing. Not only was it great, if you only have like one heat source like this, you don't have a full kitchen, 4 or 5 burners. The first thing I did for some reason was melt the butter, and it was done. So I poured it on the breadcrumbs, and that sat there while I was cooking the ramen. That didn't like go bad or get too soggy or like get stale. That sat there for a while. Once the ramen was done and I drained it, I don't eat it like soup, I just eat it like pasta. I drain it. And then I mixed the buttered breadcrumbs with the ramen that was now hot. It was great. The breadcrumbs were still crunchy. The butter, I felt like the breadcrumbs like held onto the butter and then like evenly distributed it throughout the plate of pasta. It was great. So I'm gonna make it now. Also gonna add some salmon, just because I have some cans of salmon, and gonna actually do it the opposite way. I'm gonna boil the ramen first, because when that's done, take the hot water out of the rice cooker and it's clean. There was just boiling water in there. And then melt the butter right after, throw it on the breadcrumbs, mix in the salmon, and do everything like that. You could do the butter first, I guess, but then I'd have to wash out the rice cooker while if I do the butter first before I put the ramen in, or there will just be like buttery water boiling, which I don't think that's a good thing. So butter's gonna be at the end. All right, things are boiling. See that steam? And I don't care about the amounts of water because, like I said, I'm not having it like traditional ramen. I'm just gonna drain it all. So, here we go. Already took the flavor packets out. They're in the garbage. And in a few minutes, I'll break them up and then strain them.
All right, it's getting soft. Do my best to flip it.
Okay, it's ready. The thing is, don't have a colander, a strainer, a sieve. What am I gonna do? I do have a cheese grater. This has holes in it. Not gonna use this though. So, gotta go tilt it. Hope not to lose the ramen, but get all the liquid out. Let's go. All right, I got it. All right. All right, get this out, get the butter in. Okay. Still very hot. butter. While the butter is melting and standing straight up, could get some, actually, let's mix the salmon in first. Already opened it, a can of salmon. All right. Let's break that up in here. It's gonna smell like salmon and butter when I go to bed tonight. Awesome. While the butter's still melting, let's get some spices. This thing's fantastic. All right, last step is about to happen. Butter, mostly melted, I'm not waiting forever. Let's go. Oh yeah, all right, it melted while I was talking. All right, just like the last video. I thought I was filming and I wasn't, so I tried a bite, but now this will be like bite number 3 for the camera. It's very good, which I already said when the camera wasn't rolling. Maybe a little too much butter. I had half a stick left in that stick. I threw it all in. Probably didn't need that much for 2 packets of ramen, but yeah, way prefer it to those seasoning packets, which not a huge fan of, even like the good ones, or when I use it properly. Sometimes I put it on at the wrong time and it's a big mess, but even at its best, it loses to the butter and the breadcrumbs. Of course, you could do this in your own kitchen. Very easy to have breadcrumbs even on the road. They don't need to be refrigerated. Yeah, butter, like the ramen doesn't need to be refrigerated. The canned salmon doesn't need to be refrigerated. You do need a heat source if you're gonna make this, and you need to have some butter. But if you're in, definitely in Vegas, probably even other hotels, might not be so tricky to find some butter packets. You know, butter packets, jelly packets, ketchup packets, all those things. Sometimes they're out there, you can just grab a few. So might not even need full sticks of butter like I had. If you wanna make this on your next road trip, I'm gonna get back to eating this, and I'll see everyone tomorrow. And remember, top ramen with breadcrumbs, salt, pepper, salmon, and butter is a fork food.